It's time for Fits and Starts!
You're the wrong way. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I'm the wrong. Maybe you're the wrong way. Maybe we're both the wrong way, and we can accept each other for the. No, you're the wrong way. For the way
you're
we're
wrong. You are wrong. Look at that mood lighting you have there. That's mad.
It's good, isn't it? It's trippy, man. I just want my whole life to be lit like this from now on. This is all I want. I have no interest in regular lighting anymore. I want everything to look like a kind of music video, acid trip kind of.
I was gonna say like an Instagram filter.
That is also another frame of reference that indicates that your brain has been destroyed by society, but that's good. That is good.
Absolutely. And I think it also indicates my youth.
It also is, well, there's an argument that suggests that those two things are synonymous. But I will say, I do also enjoy Instagram filters very much because they do this kind of stuff. So I should shut the fuck up, shouldn't I?
Should. You look really blurry. I'm gonna say that that's my internet that's making me like that.
Youthful, exuberant, like I have good skin. Yeah, it's called bad internet. Just reduces your. You can't see the wrinkle lines. You can't see the deep sullen valleys of age etched on my face.
Pain and yeah.
That's it. The page just blurred out. It's just blurred 360p, whatever the fuck is the lowest video processing speed.
That's what it looks like right now. I bet you now when you put this up in the podcast, you'll be super, super clear and people just think that I just, wasn't wearing my glasses.
It could be that could happen for sure.
You could be an ad for Specsavers.
Yes, indeed. Before, well, yeah, maybe. That'd be really harsh though, to be like, the before is like you looking sort of like a normal human, and then that's the after, whereas the before is just me, a sort of blurry, pink blob.
Yeah. So like the ad is me being like, oh, you look really blurry, it must be the internet. But then it actually just turns out that you're like, nah, you just need to go to Specsavers because your glasses are fucked. Time for a checkup.
Very good. There you go. You could work in the marketing department of Specsavers.
That is super fucking relevant right now because everyone's doing Zoom calls.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's very, very true. That's very, very true.
If Specsavers just want to give me a quick call, just slide into the old DMs there. And I'll work with them. I'll think about it, I might ping them. I might ping them back. Leave them on red for a couple of days. You know what I mean?
You know how to play the game. You know how this glasses marketing agency game is played. Oh yes. I was talking to my friend today, Jane. She was out for a walk. She saw a tiny little black snake, which was very cute. She was like, "Oh," I was like, the cuter they look, the more they'll kill you. Stay away from it, Jane. Where
is she in the world?
She is in North Carolina, is where she is in America. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be more worried if she was in like fucking Killarney or something. They ain't supposed to be snakes there.
Yeah, they're not meant to be here. St. Patrick got rid of them.
What? This is good. Not only am I worried for your friend's safety, but it's also rocked my faith in the Catholic Church. I thought St. Patrick.
The first time this has happened.
If that's not true, what are you telling me? Yeah. The virgin birth, all the dominoes start falling. None of it makes sense anymore.
Who am I? That is gas. Did she get eaten by the snake or anything? No.
No, she didn't. Not on the way there, but she was walking back past it as well. Then she had to go. She had a meeting. So I was like, don't get eaten by that snake on the way back. We're getting bitten, rather. Not eaten. It's too small to eat her.
It's too small to eat her. Fair.
And this is the second week we've talked about escaped animals. Of course, it wouldn't have, if it had been in Killarney, it would have escaped. Just themes, running themes, Julian. And I read an article. Look at this theatrical gesture I've done. And you wouldn't believe this hand on head gesture.
Yeah.
See? This is, all right, so talk about how Zoom calls are changing the way we talk to each other. And then, but the other thing is we have to talk about this baboon. Did you see that? I put this article up on Facebook. I know you're always on my Facebook page, always reading all my articles I put up.
Everything you say, I definitely read.
Of course, naturally, yeah. You and everyone else. But there was a story. Atlas Obscura is the best website ever. It's so good. It's just all weird. It's a travel website for all the weird places.
Is it like true stuff though, or is it like the Onion?
No, it's true. It's true stuff. That's why it's great.
Okay. Oh, you have a new cup today.
I do have a new cup today. This one's got like a weird BDSM face on it. Look at that.
Oh my God, Alan, that looks like you.
It does. That does look slightly like me. That's
exactly
a version
like
of a character called Zippy from a very old children's television show. And Zippy had a zip for a mouth. And Zippy was definitely basically like an orange teddy bear gimp. But you didn't really know that when you were a child. Zippy, George, and Bungle. George was a big bear. Zippy was a orange zip monster kind of thing. And a Bungle was a very gay pink hippo. They were great, yeah. I don't really remember what they did. I just remember their visuals of what they looked like.
Yeah.
Sort of puppeting around. I was very enthusiastic. Atlas Obscura is really good because it's all weird places you can visit. So when we went visiting weird places, like we went to the Neon Museum or whatever, I always find it using Atlas Obscura. But they also do like these weird little news articles about unusual news from around the world. And they had this amazing, huge article all about this baboon, the monkey, that lives in San Francisco that's been on the run for like 20 years. And it's just like no one can catch it. And they keep like what's the word? Tranquilized darting him. And then like whenever he darts, he just knows that he's got to like escape into the forest and pass out before they get him. So you just like, they trank him and he's like, no, he just got to escape. And he's like a highwayman, wild rebel.
That is amazing. Why are they trying to catch him? Is he like terrorizing people or anything?
Not really. I think just because he's technically like he's an invasive species, right? So he's not from there. So any animal that's not really supposed to be from the environment, the wildlife protection people have to try and nab them, you know?
Yeah.
Like when
that happened in Ireland. They have some crazy caterpillars in Ireland. I read that this week, that some caterpillars are actually coming over from the Netherlands, I think, and they just like, if they got it on your skin, they give you really bad rashes and stuff like that, and really make you really itchy. So they're trying, and like they were not in Ireland for many years, and now they're after, maybe it was Sweden, I think. Actually they came over they got like oak trees and brought them over to Ireland to plant them, and now we have to make. So the wildlife people are trying to kick them out again.
So now when you say we haven't had them for many, you said that for many years.
Years.
So are you saying that previously they were in Ireland, but were they always not wanted? Were they always an invasive species?
They were never native.
Right.
Yeah, they were never native to Ireland. But they managed to get them out of here, and now they're back again. Okay. So now they're banning people importing oak trees.
Right.
You got to plant Irish oak trees now.
That's amazing. That's great. I just imagined all these little Irish caterpillars with like little picket signs that says, taking our jobs, eating our leaves, transforming into, I wonder do they turn into different butterflies then as well?
Yes, that's a huge problem as well. They turn into moths.
Okay. And
they don't want that.
Are these moths worse than other moths?
They don't want them to turn into the moths because then they'll spread the caterpillar. They'll spread themselves.
They'll spread themselves.
And they'll fly. And they will be beautiful.
We can't. See, I wonder what they look like then.
Just get that like tattooed on themselves. They're like, spread your wings and fly.
Spread your wings and fly. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to be an invasive species. Yeah. But I wondered, so is the only problem that they give you like a rash, or that do they like kill other animals, you know?
No, I don't think so. I think the problem is that they can just cause really bad reactions in people.
Well, what do the Swedes do? Are they just immune?
Oh, I heard that completely wrong, and I thought you were saying that Swedes give other people rashes.
That's not what I was saying, but it should have been what I was saying. The fucking Swedes, you know what they're like. They rub against you, and you're like, my skin's coming out in a rash. Burn him.
Yeah. And he's like, sorry, I gotta spread my wings and fly.
Fly off this cliff. I'm gonna murder you all, Swedes. That's because
I
normally with
think
invasive species, they like kill other animals or they fuck with the ecosystem.
I don't think they're that bad. Maybe they like kill the oak trees or something, and I just didn't read that far in the article.
Yeah. See, I wonder now because they said they got rid of them before. See, that's the thing that amuses me. Then, like, there's somebody now in the what's Ireland's wildlife department, whatever it's called anyway.
That's exactly what.
There, Ireland's wildlife department.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds way better than what it definitely is called as well.
It sounds more fun, doesn't it? It sounds like everyone's it's fairly loose and everyone's having a good time.
Well, like, we leave early on Fridays. We're cheeky.
The wildlife hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one guy's like, it's only 2:00. Where's everyone going? It's like wildlife John, not wildlife. Okay. Just remember whose department you've moved into.
Yeah, back in your box there now, right, John?
But yeah, they are going to be there. Like someone's job is going to be to now try and find a way to murder all these caterpillars / moths.
Oh,
no. Someone's at their desk there being like, or they've got a wall with the blueprints and they're connecting up all the dots, and that's a sting operation here. We'll put some leaves over here that they love, some oak leaves, and then we'll have our guys waiting to parasail down with flamethrowers, burn them all up. It'd be like a whole plan.
And then he's the mad fucker in the corner being like, if we just burn down every tree.
Yeah. The guy who's just jaded. He's just smoking, chain smoking cigarettes.
I've got this.
The game never changes. He's tired of it all. He's like, I know one. We should burn every last one of them. You're like, no, John, no. What about our own native? Burn them all. Fuck, they're all the same.
Burn it all. Fucking burn it all.
That's great. And then
You're
everyone
like,
else is like,
hell, Larry, you divorced 6 years ago. Get over it. Like.
Yeah, because it's the wildlife department as well. Like everyone else is super chill. They're like bean bags. It's like a table tennis fucking thing in the rec room. Everyone, it's like Google, and he's just in the corner, just bitter. And his little cubicle looks like a beaten up sort of hard boiled detective, grubby window cubicle. All the rest is like a startup.
like a startup, exactly.
That's amazing. I'm going to have to learn about them caterpillars now.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we were talking about. The other episode I was editing today, we're talking about, you were saying, what if the aliens were caterpillars, furry caterpillars? So there's synergy.
What the fuck am I saying that for?
I don't know, man. It's in the clips, man. Just it's because you were saying, this is really weird now because it's like a rehash. But anyway, in the previously on Fits and Starts, you said, prison break. Caterpillars. But you were saying like aliens are always humanoid looking. So why aren't some of them just crocodiles or alligators or something like that? And the answer you gave is because that would be a really fucking boring movie. Just caterpillars. But now we know real. It's real because they are aliens. They're like from the fucking caterpillars' point of view, the Irish caterpillars, the real caterpillars, okay?
The real caterpillars.
Who were born here, who didn't just float across on a fucking oak tree, okay, and taking our caterpillars' jobs. So those caterpillars, like from their point of view, the newly arrived caterpillars must be kind of like aliens, like they haven't seen them before, like they look like us, but not quite like us.
Yeah. We turn into butterflies. They don't.
Yeah. I wonder.
They look like do you know the Kimberly Mikado biscuits?
Oh shit.
That's what they look like. Not the biscuit part, the creamy part.
They're square brown rectangles. Yeah. That is quite a different kind of a caterpillar. I feel like actually the job of the wildlife department wouldn't be that hard. They're the square biscuits that move along. You find them easy.
They're the square ones, lads.
They look like the pink squiggly bit.
Yeah. That's exactly what they look like.
Are they pink?
No, they're like a grey color.
Grey? Oh God, I wouldn't eat that now if that was a biscuit. A grey
But I
marshmallow.
wouldn't. I think if they give you rashes, they probably won't be good to eat them.
No, this is true. This is true. This, you have to tell that to your kids now. Look, I know they look like the marshmallowy bits off a Meccano, not the biscuit bit. I know, but you have to resist the urge to eat them because they'll make your mouth come out in a rash. And just all the kids being like, no, I want to eat them.
Yeah.
Around.
That'd be awful. Your fucking mouth breaking out in a rash. No thanks.
But if that's the only way to get rid of them, maybe we just get a bunch of toddlers and they're like, hey, free marshmallows in the park. You know what I mean?
And that's true, yeah, because they would 100. They wouldn't even think about it. Oh.
Glomming onto trees.
Breaking teeth.
Chopping off bits of bark. Doesn't matter. They get a new set in a couple of years.
I was just going to say, it doesn't matter.
They're just cannon fodder. We just send them straight into the fray. Just into the war. John's there smoking the cigarettes, being like, it never ends the same.
The cubicle. His cubicle for some reason is in the park.
It's in the forest. Well. Yeah, the park, yeah. Never-ending cycle of death and chaos.
Yeah.
This is great. And then, it's like that classic thing. You bring in the toddlers to eat the caterpillars, and then we just bring in wolves to eat the toddlers just to clear that up.
I mean, obviously, because what happens if the toddler swallowed one whole and then it just poops it out and then that goes back into the fucking waste?
The whole liability thing that the parents get upset.
The whole thing. The kids need to be eaten. But we don't tell the parents that part yet.
No.
You tell them after. And you're like, I had no idea the wolves were here.
No, we just, once again, now the first couple of those interactions will be fine. But by the time the 47th child's been eaten by wolves, we'll be like, once again, out of the blue, we just
also, if you know that 46 other times children have been eaten and you still send your children, you want your children to be eaten.
Bingo, bango, I didn't want to say it. I don't want to say you're a bad parent. I just work for the wildlife department. I'm trying to get rid of some caterpillars. You're the one who apparently wants your child's beaten.
Yeah, I'm not saying it either. I'm just saying that them be the facts, Them be
the facts. And that is the official statement from the Irish Wildlife Department. Them be the facts.
Pascoshi, RT News, Cork.
Jesus Christ. That's great. But how do they decide? This is with the native animals, right? Because we were talking about the money before as well. I remember trying to remember what animals was on the old Irish money.
Oh, yeah.
What's a native species, right? Because if I'm correct, weren't there wolves in Ireland at one point in the past?
I'm pretty certain there was, yeah.
But nobody's like, fucking, let's bring back the wolves. You know what I mean? Wolves can get fucked.
They did bring, I don't know if there's 2 or 4 of them, but they're new to the zoo in Dublin.
Oh, wolves.
Yeah, but they're not releasing them to the.
That's I mean, that's a big difference. I guess I wasn't counting zoos. I mean, we got elephants, we got giraffes, we got the whole fucking.
Isn't that just a bit mad as well, though? We've definitely talked about zoos before, though, so we can't talk about them again.
Well, we I mean, I don't know if that's a rule. Were we talking about zoos before, or were we talking about zoos before?
Yeah, we were talking
on previously.
We needed the blueprints of the zoo.
Where are the giraffes?
Yeah. They're just on my shoulder. Can
climb
you
up
tell
the
me?
giraffe's neck. That's how you get out.
Well, we were talking about zoos, about the little penguin that escaped. Didn't we talk about this?
We did escaped animals. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that as being a zoo-related conversation, but yes, of course, he did escape from the zoo.
I guess we can't talk about the zoo then. I'm sorry.
We can't. Well, we can. Firstly, Jay, I don't think.
You told us about a time where you got really high in the zoo.
I did do that, yeah. But those are, anyway, all I'm saying is I don't think you should limit yourself, Gillian. If you talked about the zoo before, you can talk about it again, etc., etc. Because zoos, there's no end of things to talk about the zoos, All the zoos are, remember, do you ever get a fucking Happy Meal in a zoo? Do you know, they always have not Happy Meal, but right. the equivalent.
Yeah, the zoo Happy Meal.
The zoo Happy Meal. There's something always there's something always janky about a zoo Happy Meal. You know, they always have them in animal-shaped zoo Happy Meal boxes. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember just as a child always being like, fucking, this isn't McDonald's. This is, you know, there's a bit of this is some, and being like eating them chicken nuggets, being like, man, I tell you, I didn't see many chickens here today, but I'll tell you what, I saw a fuckload of lemurs.
Yeah.
If I had to do the math on this.
Yeah. That's why I can't eat, and I don't think I've ever eaten in the zoo, like, fucking restaurant, because I'm like, this is definitely an elephant foot that I'm eating right now, like 100%.
I don't think it'd be an elephant foot because I think they're too valuable. But like fucking like llamas or ostriches, man, they're falling out of every fucking doorway in the zoo.
And they have a million meerkats as well running around.
Oh, the fucking meerkats! Jeez, you could slaughter 100 of them for a bunch of chicken nuggets. No one would even notice.
I'd say they would. Notice. Alan, do you know what I found out today? Wait for this now. Wait for this. Do you know what I found out today?
Wait. I'm waiting. Wait. I need some more waiting. Okay, go on.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I found out today that hens do not have teeth.
Do not have teeth?
No.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
So then I Googled hen's teeth, and it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying to Google that.
What is...
It's just a load of hens with that are like, you know, they have their beaks open, and people have photoshopped teeth into them.
Okay.
And it is terrifying.
Okay.
But there's some saying. My friend was talking to me last night, and he said something like, "Oh, I'd be waiting as long. This is as painful as pulling a hen's tooth, or you'd be waiting just as long to see a hen's tooth, or something." It was just something that made me like think, like be like, "Oh, do hens not have teeth?"
That's great.
So then I was like, I Googled it, and I found out that hens don't have teeth.
Hens don't have teeth. You heard it here first, people. Newsflash.
Do you know that hens don't have teeth?
So I did know that hens don't have teeth. I did work in the poultry industry for a little while, so I probably should know some of the. I'm not claiming to be a poultry expert, but I was aware.
I know that because of where you used to work, though. I think if you asked fucking Mary in the post office, she wouldn't know that hens don't have teeth.
Well,
does that mean, do chickens have teeth?
No, chickens do not have teeth.
I need to lie down. I can't cope with this, like.
Okay, all right. The next half an hour of the podcast will be going through animals who don't have teeth. Frogs, teethless. Fish, vast majority toothless. The common jellyfish, you will be surprised to know, not a tooth in there.
Not a tooth in his head.
So, but the second part, the reason why I think Mary in the post office may know that teeth don't have hens, the hens don't have teeth. The phrase which your friend may have used, is that something is as rare as hens.
Yes! That was it. And I was like, what do you mean rare?
Right.
Like, oh my God, this is teeth.
So it's sort of a joke saying, because they're so rare because they don't fucking exist. There's no, so that's it. But just so I'm clear, so did you think that hens, chickens, birds had teeth previously? To this saying, or do you think?
No, to be fair, I knew that chickens and the like didn't have teeth, but I just never sat down and thought about hens. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I was like, oh my God, they don't have teeth. But then I was thinking that they need to evolve better, because if they did have teeth, like if you Google hens with teeth, it is fucking terrifying. So if they had teeth, I think people would leave them the fuck alone.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So I like that. You've turned it back around. You're just like, I'm an idiot for not knowing. Maybe you're an idiot for not having them hens. You could be running the whole show. You could be running the whole
I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, like I knew, but I never, like, you know, it didn't, like, ever, like, register with me. Do you know what I mean? So when I hear you said that, I was like, what? I
see what you're saying. He threw you off the scent. He threw me off, yeah. That's great. There's another phrase that's like that as well. There's one that's as rare as hen's teeth, or as rare as something as well. There's another one. There's like, you know,
That's a great one.
that was, you know, that one. Wait,
That was
does
really
something
good.
have something? Wait, I always thought something didn't have something.
Something, then something else.
I'm going to be here for like 2 or 3 more weeks. I was going to leave sooner, but then people from, I think, is it Abused Moose? The same people who you were doing the thing for. I don't know. I applied.
Abused Moose.
Abused Moose. You know, it's like a trifle. You just scream at it. You piece of shit! I'm glad your mother left you. You know that, yeah, Abused Moose.
Oh,
so
that's mean.
You're right. Yeah. So I
apologize to the dessert.
apologize to that fictitious dessert, Alan Byrne. You monster.
You monster.
They're doing a comparing course. I think it's them anyway, or maybe it's some other crowd. I don't know. Are doing a comparing.
Did you get that email yesterday or like a few days ago?
Yeah.
I got that as well. Yeah.
So they're doing that. They rearranged it for like the week after I was going to leave. So I was like, okay, I'll hang on for like 1 more week because I may as well because I paid for the fucking thing already. So I'm going to do that. Probably good as well because it'll be like a reminder. It'll be like, Alan, don't forget about comedy. Now you're going to become a fucking hydroponics millionaire. Don't forget about comedy. So
don't forget where you came from.
Don't forget. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still.
The shadow of my glasses is gas. Can you see it?
I can see the shadow of your glasses. You mean the triangle-y part, is it?
Yeah.
That's been a long day today, I'd say, was it?
Bit of a long day, yeah.
How's your new job going? Sorry, or did you want to talk about something else?
I just well, that's a rant, so I'm just gonna ask you before I start that.
You're just like, just before the next 40 minutes of screaming, is there anything else you'd like to get in?
Is there anything else you just wanna say?
I have to say, that is so considerate of you for someone, because that's really considerate. You just know you're about to go off and you're like, hey, if you need to use the bathroom, just maybe that now is the time.
Make another call or anything? Rearrange meetings, I don't know, whatever you need to do.
No, I'm fine. I have nothing else to add other than the fact that I've finished my job, so I'm currently.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. When did you leave? Are you done? Are you all over?
I'm all over. I did my last day in the dungeon there on the Sunday. It was cool. It was a really good last day. It was lots of fun. I was on with they were all fun, but I was on some particularly fun people. Me and Ben F, who is also Irish actually, and he we were doing like a two-hander. A couple of the shows there's 2 people, so and I didn't know any of the lines, and we were just making shit up, and that was fucking gas. And that was really nice. And then so on Tuesday, yesterday, I also met a bunch of people for drinks in the park near to kind of say goodbyes or goodbye for, because some people are leaving and some people are coming back, so it was just a nice way to like catch everybody, and that was really, really nice. So yeah, my life is great. And now tell us about
I love that you are just like powering through your shit because you want to hear my rant.
Yes, there's nothing interesting on this side. Everything went well. No one needs to hear that. I'll just edit that whole part out. How was your last day? Fine. Next. Yeah. No one cares. No one cares. Do you have a nice time? That's not funny. I don't need to hear that. Imagine like get fucked. Give a fuck.
If you're happy.
There's nothing worse than pleasant stories. You know, it's you know, oh, we had a great time on holiday. Get fucked. You had a great time. I don't want to hear that. You know, tell me you got tetanus or malaria, or you know, your wife left you. It's something interesting happened. Tell me. Anyway, tell me about your wife leaving you and getting tetanus.
Yeah, so it is grand. I do like it. It's just,
and here we go.
It's just yeah, some people are just, it's just getting used to the whole fucking business, like fucking office life again. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
And just how like yeah, I don't know. It's funny.
Are you worried your boss is going to watch this video and you can't talk?
A little bit.
Are you, like, this is the great thing is the thing
no one watches it.
Of the list of people who were going to watch it, where would your boss be on that list? I think he would be person 2,470,000 5 right under, you know,
Yeah.
a dude from fucking Turkmenistan who doesn't speak any English at all. He just puts it on to go to sleep. You know, he's below him.
Yeah.
But I
just
understand.
it's just like the whole way business people are. Just their mindset is just like a fucking. They're just on a different level. Like, do you know what I mean? And they're just so. It's just the way they deal with money. Actually, I think is my biggest problem.
Okay,
So they're
that's
like, they're like, go buy me this, and you're like, okay, like you can't just tell me. Like today, he asked for headphones, right?
Okay.
He was like, I need some headphones. And I was like, okay, how many headphones do you want? And he literally was like, oh, as many as you could possibly get, please.
That's great. But that's what an answer.
Are you messing? Like,
that's
what
amazing.
The fuck, like,
were they for him? What were they for?
Yeah, they're for him. Like, but sorry, they're for the company. But I'm like, as many as possible. Like, do you know that I have access to the internet? I can get millions of headsets. Like, is that too little? I don't know.
That's great.
Like,
that's great.
Unreal. And he never asks me to get like, he'll never give me like a budget either. He's like, go to this, and I'm like there is, and then one of my other managers, so like, I bought him. Here we go. I bought him. He asked me to get him sparkling water, obviously. So I bought him, but I bought him the San Pellegrino. And then my other boss was like, don't buy him that stuff. Buy him the cheap stuff.
Why?
Like, why? It's all the company card anyway. Who gives a fuck? But
well, I mean, sorry, no, I mean, like, if it was a difference between some incredibly expensive version and medium version, where if the price differential was hundreds of thousands of pounds, but when it's 50 pence, that's a very odd thing to weigh in on.
Right? I was like, oh, but I can buy him as many as possible as I can, fucking headphones, but I can't buy him this fancy sparkling water, like.
Now you said this with this particular individual who go unnamed, but you said this thing about quantities, because somebody else asked you to purchase some other beverages, and again, or ice creams or something, and it was the same situation. You said how many, and he was just like, use your own judgment or something.
Literally, he was like, oh yeah, how many? Like, just, you know, for enough for a week. I don't know this person.
That's great.
I don't know
That's
how many
a brilliant answer.
In a week.
That's so good. That's so good. Enough for a week is such. I'm actually going to write this down, because like this would be a brilliant thing to do as like a sort of form of psychological warfare against someone you were trying to drive mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is it. He drives me demented, because then I get real great. Like. Because I'm still so new there that I don't want to, you know, I'm so awkward around him, because I don't want you to think I'm fucking lunatic. But then you go and you ask me to buy you all this shit, and then like, how many headphones am I meant to buy him? I won't sleep tonight because I don't know how many headphones I need to buy.
So great. There's no way to win. I mean, the chances of you buying the perfect amount are slim. It's going to be too many or too few, isn't it? Doesn't matter what you do.
And then he only wants this certain type as well, and then like literally it is sold out everywhere in Dublin.
Fantastic.
And I'm like, of course, of fucking course.
That's why he said as many as you could possibly get, because he knew you'd only be able to get one or two, because they're like a Fabergé egg there, you know.
Oh Jesus, he's unreal.
That's amazing.
And then like, you know, because you're so like, because he's obviously like such a like high up in the company, and you're like, I'm brand new, I'm very like, oh, so I won't, you know, it's a thing where I won't ask him a question, so he's like, as many as possible, and I'm like, oh yeah, no problem, I'll do that.
Yeah, there's a thing in your brain where
in my head I'm like, what the fuck is this many as possible?
But it's as well, it's a thing, I don't know, it may just be, this may not be it as well, but sometimes when people, it's a second question. Asking a first question is easy, but a second question is very hard to ask if there's a power dynamic. So if you're like...
That was it, I was like, how many? He was like, is it possible? Okay. That is a perfect answer. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I asked.
That's great, man. That's great. That's such wonderful fuckology as well. Because even then, it's like, the follow-up question would have to be like, so
Yeah, and then I just had to guess, like, but I got no. This is what used to drive me mad when I worked in the accountancy place, was because I couldn't read their handwriting because they were 946 each, and they I couldn't fucking read their handwriting.
Yeah, I remember this.
But they gave me no context, so I couldn't even guess what they were trying to I couldn't even, you know what I mean, try and figure it out.
It's great.
Same here, no context. I need headphones. For how many people? When do you need them for? Like, what's my budget? Like, do you have nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I love this.
Oh my God.
It's so
these
great.
headphones could be for his children, and I don't know. Do you know what I mean? And
Gillian, I can't, what the attitude as well is, it's like, I can't do every little thing for you, okay? I can't answer all your questions, all right, Gillian? Just like,
that's exactly
I've got important things to do. So when I tell you, go out and get me something purple, I don't have time to go into it, okay? Just use your intuition, Something purple. How hard is that, Gillian? Something
like
purple.
Today he asked me to I'm the worst. He asked me to drop something out to his car to him. He's like, I'm in my car, I forgot something, and you just run in and pick it up for me and drop it out to me. And I was like, yeah, grand. And then, but as I was typing, yeah, grand, I was like, I don't know what your car is, I don't know what color it is, I don't know where it's parked, I don't know anything. Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So then I just assumed that he would come over to where I was, because I don't know you. I've met you 3 weeks ago. I've never seen your car. Yeah. But obviously not, because he is a businessman and therefore the most important person in the world. So I should obviously know what his car looks like. And I just so I was just walking up and down the street being like, where the fuck is your car? And then after about 3 minutes, he eventually was like, beep, beep.
That's great.
And I was like, have you just been watching me walking up and down the street for 3 minutes? Like,
it was just
unreal.
I love it, man. I love those scenarios, and your life is just apparently nothing but those from now on. I love the situations where you're like, I should have asked another thing, or when they said, is that we got it? And I went, you got it, boss! I should have said, nope, I need you to I've done that so many times. And obviously he is the type of person who is creating those scenarios as well, because they happen naturally anyway. So, but you're also the least likely to ask. So that your powers combined, it's the best. It's the best.
The worst. Like,
I love that feeling though. I love that feeling of just being like, I don't know.
And you're like, it's gone on too long.
It's too long.
You're in it. And you're just like, I can't go back and be like, I don't know.
It's great, man. It's great. I think I was listening to a guy, a podcast. It's been hit and miss, called The Art of Manliness, which is not really manly stuff. Anyway, but it was some dude was talking about having an anti-bucket list, right? So doing all the things you don't ever want to fucking do, and doing them as a form of like self-challenge or stoicism or something like that. But one of the things he was talking about, which is something that I think about a lot, is like this isn't quite it, but it's somewhere in the neck, the area. Is like embarrassing stuff. I think it's really good for you psychologically to like do embarrassing things. I think that's great. I think that really, it makes you like a better person. I think it does. So that's what I'm saying, Gillian. I'm saying, even though your life is hell, it's going to make you a better person. Is
it? Because all it does is make me hate people. Because then all I'm thinking about is if I worked in my little cafe still, he would treat me like absolute shit if he came into the cafe. Do you know what I mean?
But presumably he'd come in and say, get me something. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'll be down here.
Sorry, I'm on a call. I don't know how you don't know that already, but I'm on a call.
How many of these things would you like, sir? Several. Bring me several. Bring me several of whatever it is you people do here. I don't have time. I'm very important. I'm the last human being in the world who still uses a BlackBerry. It's all very important.
We wear cool suits We wear shiny shoes.
We all still have Blackberries like it's 1992.
It was a great year, you bollocks. Which is, I guess it is good that I see the funny side of it, and I'm not like.
Oh, I don't think
like
you'd be alive if you didn't.
No, my sister texted me today, and she was filming a music video, and they were in some fucking sunflower field somewhere. I don't know where she was. She was in a field, and she sent me a picture, and she was like, "I'm currently in a sunflower field. It's so pretty. Look at this." And she like sent me a picture, and I was like, "I'm currently developing another hernia because of my boss."
Yeah, man, that's great.
We're basically having the same day.
Same day. Oh my god, same Z snap. That's amazing.
That one of the dances. So funny. That was my day.
That's crazy, but it's some business people, they are like that. Though I've worked with some people.
Yeah.
They're not all like that, but some people they're like.
No, they're not all like that.
Yes.
But some of them just get so in their head about it, and they're just like, "I'm so like." Obviously, I
So
dealt with
important.
in when I worked in Huckletree. Like, obviously, you come across those people who are like, "Oh, my business is so important." And you're like, listen, love, you redesigning TikToks is not that important, like.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's always, I don't know, man. They're just people, they really do think, like, but it's funny. It's funny because you could imagine meeting somebody, like, I don't know, who, you know, they like, fucking, what's the guy from Jeff Bezos or some, you can imagine meeting someone who they really are so important or in charge of so much stuff that no one should act like an asshole, but you kind of get it, you know. But it's never them. It's always the people who run some fucking rinky-dink fucking piece of shit company that doesn't do anything. You know, we hand deliver artisanal wood carvings of your grandmother on demand, or you know, we're an accountancy for a logging firm. It's always people in the sort of middle who just turn into dickheads of the highest order.
Absolute wankers. But talking about Jeff, I can't say his surname. That's the Amazon guy, isn't it? That you're talking
Bezos, yeah, Jeff Bezos is
Amazon. He there was an article about his ex-wife today. Did you see it? No.
I did not see it.
And it was like, I don't know her fucking name, because obviously the article wouldn't say her name because, you know, she's a woman. Why would they? The article was like
Bezos's female chattel.
It was like Bezos's ex-wife becomes becomes wealthiest woman in the world, right?
Yeah, that's.
And then the comments were fucking hilarious. Yeah, they were like, "There, you make it sound like she made all this money. It's because of him. She didn't make it. It's not her money. It's not her."
It's great. It's great.
And then you've all the feminists being like, "Oh my god, amazing! She is my idol."
Go for you. Good for her.
Independent woman.
So funny, man.
Live your dream.
Live your dream. Married. You too can be so empowered that you married the world's richest man and he cheats on you. Live your dreams, ladies. Be
happy, ladies. Is that what happened? I mean, I don't fucking.
I have no idea why they got divorced.
I didn't even know he's fucking married or divorced.
I mean, it wasn't top of my list of things to know either. It's just so funny though. It's just so funny that the guy is so rich that is part of the settlement. You just instantly become the richest woman. Dude, you gotta be.
This doesn't say a lot for feminism, to be honest.
It's not great.
If that's not the wealthiest woman,
I was gonna say, like, whoever the previous wealthiest woman was, like, maybe she was like ran her own business, fucking worked her way up from the main streets. She must have just been pissed.
I would guess that the wealthiest woman is like Victoria Beckham or something.
It's probably, I doubt that. It's probably, you know, the wife of some billionaire sheikh or whatever the fuck it is, or some.
Oh, maybe. You know, but that's what I mean. Like, who is like? Oh no, do you know who it is? It's fucking what's her face, the Kardashian. Kylie.
Is she the? Oh, okay.
She was like the world's first female billionaire or something a few months ago.
Really? Okay, there you go. How do they make all their money anyway? It's the fathers or the parents are really wealthy, aren't they? The fucking.
Yeah, the dad was O.J. Simpson's lawyer.
Yeah.
And then Kim Kardashian took a fucking, took one for the team and made a sex video. And then that went viral, and then they all just became famous because of it. And then
It's quite amazing.
They made Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and now they are all massively famous. Well, like Kim, or not Kim, what's her face? The two young ones, the two, Kendall and Kylie, have like their own makeup range and stuff. And they're all models.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So, but is that a path that we could follow, Gillian? Could you make a sex tape? Oh, I'd make a sex tape. Yeah, there you go. That was snap. Hey, that was good. That was like your day with your sister. Oh my god. Because like I don't think I could make a sex tape and then come out with a makeup line. I feel like that's not going to work as well.
I think you absolutely could, and be like, I am an independent man. Don't you fucking judge me for who I am.
You know what? Actually,
I'm gonna spread my wings and fly. Fuck you.
Look at all I'll be spreading. I think that recently, yeah, indeed, it's the correct facial response for that. The online at the moment now, there's lots of advertisements. Of course, I'm probably getting them because they're like, he's the kind of sucker to go for this now. But like men's skincare is a big thing now because young men are increasingly concerned about their looks. They're increasingly vain, because of Instagram and all this kind of stuff. Looking well is more important than it was. Even in Ireland, where up until recently, as a man, you were allowed to look like a scrotum in a jumper, and there was no problem. As long as you were sound, no one cared. I was
going to say, a potato. You're way harsher than I am.
Potato is like, Gillian, you have a very nice boyfriend. You got very lucky to get yourself a potato in a jumper. 99% of them out there.
It's very handsome. I did well.
To be considered a potato in a jumper. They are scrotums at best.
Oh god, that's awful.
But not anymore. Previously in the past, I'm probably from. I don't know how the generations work out. Sort of generation potato, generation scrotum, generation Instagram. I'm probably an Insta scrotum. I'm sort of in between, Insta scrotum. That doesn't sound good. It sounds like something you drop in water and it goes up. Like
hashtag.
Then the sponge dinosaurs you could get, and you put them in the water and they blow up. Insta scrotum. Anyway, yeah, because men's face product, face cream shit, that's all in there. So I could advertise that. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, exactly. But you also have all the I guess actually no, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say all the drag queens and all, but they do makeup like women do. So
yeah, I mean they've kind of got.
Is that wrong? Am I gonna be cancelled for saying that? I feel like I'll be cancelled for saying that now.
No, I feel like drag queens would use more female makeup. I don't think there's any. I don't think men's skincare. Although maybe not. See, maybe men's skin care, not makeup. Is it different? Is it different? Is men's moisturizer different to female moisturizer? That's the only question. Because makeup is makeup. Like, what I mean? Yeah. I think. So I'm like, geez. I always feel like female moisturizers, you get an eighth as much and it costs 8 times more. Whereas men's moisturizer, it just comes in like a plastic shopping bag, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. And it works.
You just get given one when you're born, and you're like, there you go, and that's it. That's what you use for the rest of your life.
Bingo. Just slop it on. I moisturize, Gillian. You gotta moisturize. You got to moisturize, men out there. Scrotums out there. Scrotums of Ireland. Listen to me. You've got to moisturize. Got to. It's the key. Keep looking young forever. God, I said scrotum so much now. I've really lost my train of thought. Sometimes you throw yourself off.
I think you're right. I think I'm going by cologne and perfume and stuff like that. Men's cologne is way nicer than women's, way cheaper, and it lasts. Whereas women's, you have to put it on 946,000 times a day.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, women put it in their hair and stuff to try and make it smell, the smell last. What is it? Like, why do they, what is that? Like, why do men, do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, squirting away you go, you fucking smell gorgeous for fucking 3 days. Like, it's really annoying.
Yeah, I know it's probably designed to make you use more of it, probably.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because it's so much more expensive. They want you to use it quicker, obviously.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, women do the thing when they spray perfume and they walk through it. Which,
And they
I mean,
walk through it.
I'm like, that's spray it on you. Like, that's what that's gonna do. You wouldn't do that with any other product. You know?
No.
You wouldn't. If you were eating a bowl of rice, you wouldn't throw it up in the air and just walk through it and hope you get most of it. Dinner time. Just trying to catch.
It's like feeding fish. You know, you put the food into the fish bowl and they're like.
And fish can get fucked, man. They need some teeth. Watching fish eat, it's amazing, really, that they survived.
It is, yeah.
They sort of.
Isn't it?
What?
I said, isn't it crazy that they survived?
Fish, like, they just don't look like they. Like, you know, when other animals. The things we talked about, man. When other animals eat, right? They look like they're plugged in. You know, they're like, there's the fucking gazelle. Gonna get it. There's the grass. Even a cow. There's some grass. I'm getting grass. We've got this eating thing down. We're on top of it. Even chickens, who, teethless as they may be, pecking at stuff. You know, they have a certain fish. They just look like they're fucking hoping for the best. You know what I mean? Like, there's no plan. Like, they can't, you know what I mean?
That's me at work, like, hoping for the best.
Now in my head, you're just looking.
I don't know.
Yeah, just looking for the car.
Oh, there's bottles of Coke falling down on top of him with some headphones. Is that what you want? I'm so unclear. I don't know. That's so funny. Yeah, I know you're dead right. Did I even tell you about the time where my mom killed all of our fish?
No, you didn't. Please do.
Yeah, so we had our little fishes.
What type of fishes were they?
They were goldfishes.
Okay.
So we had two goldfish, sorry. We had these fuckers for years. We had them for 3 years. Like, they were definitely
that's good. That's good for goldfish.
Out of date. They were out of date. But yeah, we had them for like 3 years. And then my brother used to clean out their tank every week or whatever, every few days. And then one day, like, he was away or whatever, and my mom did it, but my mom cleaned the tank out with Sif.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
They suffocated, like, she killed him, like, dead. So, like, obviously they were in, like, a different little bowl, living their best lives while she was
I got
you.
And they were looking over like, someone's cleaning the tank, won't be any problems here, we'll be back in there in a second.
No problems here.
And they fucking got dropped back into Chernobyl, basically.
Oh my god. Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, what a terrible way to go. What a fucking awful way to go.
Now, quick question for you. When was this? Because depending on when it was, they were either killed by Sif or Jif, because they changed the name of it.
It was Jif. This was about 20 years ago. It was Jif.
It was Jif. That's why they changed the name, because there was so much bad press in the goldfish community that they had to fuck.
What really upsets me now more than anything is the fact that I can say, oh my god, that was 20 years ago, and I have a memory of it.
What really would upset me is the fact that your mother is demented. but who? I mean, you know, no one. Listen, your poor mother. Not one of you could tell her, please do not use toilet cleaner on the goldfish. How is she supposed to?
I guess in her defense, she thought she had it cleaned out, but obviously you can't fucking clean that off completely and put fish back into it. They're going to die. Very funny.
Jesus
I really
Christ,
hope they die quickly though, because we obviously didn't notice for hours.
I would imagine that that's going to do it fairly quickly for you. You know, I don't think, as a goldfish, I think as soon as they got in there, they were like, time's running low, Bill. I always wanted to tell you I loved you. And they did a bit of that kind of kissing, and then they were on the way out. They probably died well. They died a warrior's death. They probably fucking... Do you know what I used to keep? I had a pet goldfish called Lippy, because one of its lips was like folded in. It was like folded into its mouth. But it lived for like 8 years. It was fucking unkillable. Yeah, Lippy and Bright Eyes, the 2 goldfish that had lived for ages.
Anyway, a few minutes. My mother. Bye.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's it. I will say they had the added advantage though of not being force-fed oven cleaner, which is one of Alan's top 10 pet keeping tips. Except for squirrels, they love fucking squirrels. Can't keep up. Has to be the Jif stuff, the new Sif stuff. They don't like that.
Yeah, they're not about it anymore.
fucking game changed. Yeah, we used to keep breed tropical fish as well, right? Had a whole setup out there. My dad used to breed them. It was cool. It's very interesting. But like sometimes we used to put lids on the tanks, but sometimes if you left one of the lids off, you'd find a fish that was just like barbecued on the floor because it just jumped out the tank. And I remember even as a child thinking, fucking, I was like, he knew what he was doing, man. That's what I always thought in my head. I was like, listen, he just opted out. He was just like, he just took a shot, you know? Either one or two things happens, I think. The fish jumps out the tank. It's either like, he's just had enough, you know? He's had enough. He's done his 9 to 5. He's just tired of clocking in, walking past that little rock with the bubbles that comes out of it, seeing the same film, fucking build the bug-eyed goldfish, you know, the ones with the big blobby eyes, seeing them waddling. Yeah. This fucking guy every day, you know, he's just had enough. He's just like, fuck this, I'm out. And then just off himself. Or I think as well, some of them, they're like, I think in my head, I remember just imagining this, just cracked me up, it's just twisted, thinking that they thought there was a promised land, like beyond the tank.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I've seen the bigger fish like walking around out there because they see you moving around and you're fine. You're having a blast out there. And they're just like, one day it's in heaven, it's utopia. And he's telling all the other fish, you know,
yeah,
it's going to be amazing. And then just da-da-da. And just for a second though, man, for a second when he's in the air, he thinks it's real, man. And just for that second, he feels like the best thing in the world, but then boom, he hits that carpet, and it's curtains. It's curtains.
Game over. Have you ever seen Sausage?
For that second, Julian, he's a god. For that second, he was a god. Anyway,
have you seen the Sausage Party?
The film? No, I have not seen the film. I've seen clips from it.
That is the plot of Sausage Party. They're all in like a grocery store. Okay. And the dream is for a human to like come and buy them and take them to the promised land.
Oh, right.
And then they're like, we're gonna have a great life when we get out, but obviously we eat all the food, so they'll be taken away to be murdered. It's actually really it's a bit disturbing in many places, but it's funny. It is very funny.
Okay, all right, good to know.
But yeah, that's the whole plot. But don't those little fish? Because sometimes you'd see a fish like plot, like our little our little fish used to like drop out, and you're like, oh, and you just pop them back in. And then
I mean, if you catch it, yeah, I mean, for sure, yeah,
they're fine.
You're not gonna die instantly, but I mean, like, not overnight. You couldn't scoop them up the next morning and just like fucking rehydrate them.
Classic Larry.
There he is. Fucking like a fucking mummy. He's popping back in and springs back to life. You know. Now, I used to have dreams when I was a kid. I had a bunch of recurring dreams where like the fish would come through the glass and they would start swimming through the air, and then they'd like be swimming in the air. It was cool, man. It was really trippy. And I used to like I'd like look at the fish tank, and like if I stared at it long enough, I could see them like coming out of the glass, just like an optical illusion because you're not seeing the glass anymore. But I used to have dreams when they'd be like all over the place. It was cool. Let's get some fish again, man. Fish are cool, you know. Get some trippy lights going on. Get some fish. Nice.
Living your best life down in Khmer. With your fish.
Yeah, man. Gonna get this Khmer place sorted out now, man. It's gonna be fucking trippy lights. Gonna get a jacuzzi. No, I'm not. Maybe I should get a jacuzzi.
You should. The fish could live in the jacuzzi. Away you go. Job sorted.
Shit, man. Just keep your mother. She's not invited. You tell her to stay.
She's not invited.
You tell your mother to stay the fuck out of my jacuzzi with her Jif. Her bottle of Jif she saved from 1989. She kept it back. She saved it for special occasions.
Just like this one.
She's all the fish, you know, they want to see her put in a Hague. She's like she's Joseph Mengele to them. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say they have like her picture everywhere being like wanted and all.
Dead or alive. The
Serial
Jeff
killer.
That's
Yeah. Double murder. Double murder.
Fish, man. Fish. But you know what? I just thought. I bet that's what it is. Of course, that's what it is. Oh, that's your mother calling you now. She's like,
No,
you're talking shit about me. But fucking, what were the name? Did your fish have names? The ones your mother offed?
They definitely did have names, but I can't remember now. I think one of them was called Bubbles, but I don't remember the other one.
I was going to guess Bubbles, but it's not exactly.
I think maybe Jaws was the other one. Bubbles and Jaws, I think.
Aye, that's good. Bubbles, that's
Yeah.
some quality names. That sounds like they have their own like morning children's television show. You know what I mean? Bubbles and Jaws, like, but then maybe like
Yeah.
like Ant and Deck kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But they're fish. Fuck, what was I thinking?
The bloggers, they have their own Instagram page and all. Bubbles and Jaws.
Jaws. Promoting little products, promoting little fish products.
Yeah, the little bridge and all that you can buy to put in.
Yeah, and like I just,
sponsored.
they're sponsors. Now, even if they weren't sponsoring us, I would totally use this bridge every day.
Oh my god!
It's,
If I was
it's so amazing. Look,
how much money to tell you that this is great, I would definitely buy it myself.
swim under the bubble filter. It's really good for your skin.
I just do this every night before bed. You know, just give myself a little facial.
Yeah. But that's I bet that's why fish eat like blah, blah, blah. It's because they can't see, right? It's like the eyes are at the side of their head. Maybe that's why. So like when the food is there, right? They're like, I got it. And then as they get closer, it disappears, you know, because they got that. They only have that side vision, so they just gotta just go for it. You know, they gotta. Whereas like when you're a rabbit, because I was like, okay, but then what about cows and rabbits and fucking horses, anything with the eyes inside? But grass don't move, as the old adage goes. Grass is just grass. So like you put your head down, it's there. Whereas you go up for that fish flake, fucking Bubbles could have knocked it fucking sideways. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
This is all right. I have more respect for fish now after that conversation. I was thinking these fucking guys, they haven't even evolved a way to eat.
Yeah. At the start of the conversation now, you were saying that you didn't know how they survived this long. So
yeah, no, this is good. This is good. You've
seen
seen
those things that do you remember those games that you play in my that's how we got Bubbles and Jaws actually. But my dad, I think they used to drive my dad mad because you know it's like hook a fish and you win a fucking goldfish at the amusement.
Yes.
Oh my god! And then you're just walking around with a fucking. I mean, it's not animal cruelty. Like the fucking goldfish in plastic bag with a tiny bit of water and you're just walking around.
Dude, like I tell you what, like 100 years from now, when like they realize animals are like the same as people, like that's gonna be like the fucking death camps, you know what I mean? And they used to play games where they could win you in a plastic bag, and we'll just be like, oh jeez. We'll just all be in our like fucking our orange jumpsuits for our crimes against humanity. Just been like, oh, that's not a great look.